in my own life, depression has been cured every time by the same recipe, which is well, in my case, almost like a violent change of things, tearing myself away from the stagnating life and just starting a new thing. And well, I tend to do it, like I said, quite almost like violently, that it's usually quite big change of things, but not always. Sometimes it can be even quite moderate thing, although in those times the moderate changes, they were able to fix very moderate depression, so more like a starting depression. But when the depression has gotten really bad, then it has led me to make very big changes, and it has helped. And so to summarize, it's this is how I feel. I mean, again, I'm not a doctor. There might be many different things, but I need to be excited about life. And basically, for me, the just existing is not life. Existing is nothing. It's just if I only exist, I don't feel alive. I feel dead inside, and obviously I get depressed. So I have to have a strong reason to get up in the morning. And the only way I've been able to achieve this is when I feel like I'm on a mission. And basically between every mission I always get depressed. Because once the mission is done, then immediately there is no reason again. Like then the time between these missions I spend in some sort of despair, just trying to find the next mission, and I feel like shit. I lose the will to live and all this basic stuff. And then the fix again comes when I start the new mission, and I get excited about it, and even more importantly, I commit myself to it. I think this is one of the basic, or the most important things. Not only that there's something exciting to do, but that there is something that I commit myself to, and I let it take over my brain, basically. So for example, street photography, it took me over almost completely, I would say. So and then whatever the mission is at that moment, it has to be something that it takes me over, and then because then it starts a whole new game of where you can develop yourself and reach new levels and become better and better, and this creates this kind of moment when there is a big mountain to climb. So then every day you have something to do because you're on this mountain climbing it. But then when there is no mission, there is no mountain and nothing is happening, and well then what's the point? And then in a smaller scale, trying to maintain a kind of a good spirit to keep the. I think I'm quite often mildly depressed, even when I'm on a mission. I'm mildly depressed, I would say. But then maintaining the kind of a reasonable state of mind is I need to be intellectually stimulated. And well, whatever that is, that there must be some kind of almost like an amateur research that I'm doing at the moment. So there's some topic that I'm reading about and read multiple books about it, or watch documentaries, or some kind of problem that I'm thinking about constantly. This is usually very beneficial, and then there needs to be the sense of adventure, so life cannot be too monotonous, and then there needs to be this romantic and sexual stimulation, I guess pun intended, well, and physical physical stuff, exercising, just I hate exercise, but the big benefit in is that when you exercise you feel your muscles, and this seems to be very beneficial, I would say. Yeah, I would say right now when I'm not exercising at all I feel like shit, but I mean, I remember the feeling, even though I'm now not doing anything about it. And yet then we live in these apartments, many people, and these little apartments, they are like aquariums, and obviously we are not designed to live in these things. This is very depressing. The point being that when I think about the basic depressed person, he or she, whatever, lives in a small apartment and has some kind of job and some kind of relationship, for example, and they kind of want to convince themselves that everything is good, or even worse, they convince themselves that they have no right to complain because somebody else has it worse. But if you live in this kind of a little apartment and you have a job that you don't really like, and then you have some kind of half okay relationship with some kind of half okay person that is not the one and you know it, and you're not intellectually stimulated and properly romantically stimulated and all this stuff, then yeah, it means that your life sucks. Then you get depressed. That's, I would say, is the core of it. And life sucks when you're bored. That's the thing. If you're bored, then your life sucks. And that goes back to the thing, when I have a mission, then I'm not bored, but then in this kind of confused state when I don't know what the mission is, then I get bored, because life itself is not interesting to me. It's the other stuff here, but the things inside life that you can do, those are interesting, but life itself is not. So this is basically a hunch, but I feel like many people, they live in this kind of limbo in which they feel like they don't have the right to complain, and they don't have the right to, or the courage to admit that their life sucks, that they are not happy, that they are bored. And then when you allow that thing to go too far, then you get depressed. I think it's somewhat simple, the mechanism even. I mean, of course, in different cases it can be much more complicated, but basically if you're bored for 1 year straight, then most likely you will be depressed, because what else could happen? And then we are not designed to live boring lives. I mean, if you look at the humankind, what we are doing and how we behave and our instincts and desires, well, especially now, of course, watching videos from Ukraine all the time. We are monsters, and we have all these sports events and everything to distract the violent men, so that they wouldn't commit their violence on others, that they can go into a cage and fight there to get it out of their system. And yeah, so basically, even if you're not a violent person, you need some kind of cage where you can let your monster out, and it can be an university, or it can be whatever, a chess match with somebody, it can be whatever, but something that is the kind of rewarding for the inner monster you have, because we are monsters, and when we don't get to do any kind of monster things, then we get bored, and then we get depressed, because we don't feel that we are alive.